Alright. Good morning, students. How are you today? I hope all good. Alright, today we will learn about photosynthesis. But before we start our lesson, let's pray together. Okay, thank you. Who's absent today? Alright, I want to call your name and you have to say present. Okay? Okay. Let's start our lesson. Photosynthesis. Why are forests often called as the lungs of the world? Why? Anybody answer? Yeah, that's right. Because oxygen is produced by plants. As we know, the forest there are a lot of plants. So the forest is often called as the lungs of the world. But do you know where oxygen is produced? Where? Anybody else what? Yes, that's right. They're from photosynthesis. Therefore now, we will study about photosynthesis. Okay. The objective of the learning today is the first, by learning activities, students can explain the meaning and process of photosynthesis correctly. Number 2, by analyzing the video of in-house photosynthesis experiment, students are able to describe the process of photosynthesis and how oxygen gas is formed. And number 3, by analyzing the video of in-house photosynthesis experiment, students can explain the factors that affect the photosynthesis process. Alright, let's start lesson today. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process of compiling or forming complex compounds or organic compounds from simple compounds or unorganic compounds using light energy. Then photosynthesis occurs in plants that have chloroplasts. Don't forget. If the plant does not have chloroplasts, then the plant cannot photosynthesis. This can happen because in the chloroplast there is chlorophyll, which works an important role in photosynthesis. Then, photosynthesis process needing light and CO2. Light works an important role in photosynthesis, especially in light reaction. Then CO2 works an important role in dark reaction. Then photosynthesis produces the oxygen and glucose. Oxygen is produced from the light reaction process, while glucose is produced from the dark reaction process. Let's see the pictures. The parts of the leaf that works in the photosynthesis process. The first is epidermal cells. You can see in the pictures epidermal cells. Then stomata in here, and then mesophyll tissue in the middle, and vascular tissue. The epidermis functions as a site for the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide when plants carry out respiration and secretion of photosynthesis products. Epidermal cells are produce a cuticule so that the leaf layer becomes transparent and shiny, but impermeable to water. Then stomata is the part of the leaf that is open to the process of gas exchange in the leaf. There are two types of mesophyll tissue, namely spongy parenchyma and palisade parenchyma. In the palisade tissue, there are chloroplasts that works in the process of photosynthesis. And the last is vascular tissue. Vascular tissue works in the transportation of the materials and products from the photosynthesis process. Okay, don't forget it. Any question? No? If there are any question, please raise your hand. If you don't have another question, let me move the next materials. Okay. Photosynthesis process. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. As we know, chloroplasts are present in palisade tissue. Now we can see these pictures. This is a picture of a chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast, there are several parts, such as the outer membrane in here, and inner membrane, you can see, and then granum. Granum, if in large quantities, it is called grana. Then stroma, and then thylakoid. Granum is a stack of several thylakoids. In this thylakoid, in this, you can see, is where the light reaction occurs, while the dark reaction occurs in the chloroplast space, and we call the stroma. Don't forget it. The process of photosynthesis consists of two stages. The first is light reaction. The light reaction occurs in the thylakoids. The light reaction process requires light. Light energy or photons will enter and be accepted by chlorophyll. Then chlorophyll will release electrons. The lost electrons in chlorophyll will be replaced with electron generated from the photolysis process of water or hydrogen. Then the rest of the photolysis process, namely oxygen, will be released into the air. Don't forget. The light reaction consists of two processes. The first is cyclic reaction. Then the second is non-cyclic reactions. Cyclic reactions will produce ATP products, and then non-cyclic reaction will produce NADPH2 products. So the products of the light reaction are number 1 ATP, and then NADPH2, and then O2 or oxygen. Then the second of photosynthesis reaction is the dark reaction. The dark reactions occurs in the stroma. The dark reaction, or what is called the Calvin cycle, requires CO2 and ATP and NADPH2, which is the result of the light reaction. So, in the process of this dark reaction will produce glucose. Alright. Factors that works in photosynthesis. Number 1 is chlorophyll. That's P700 and P680. And then sunlight. And then water or hydrogen. And then temperature. And then CO2 intensity. And the last, the edge of tissue. Alright. Any question? Any question about the material that I have taught? Okay. If you don't have question, let me move of worksheet. You can open your worksheets. The first is I have a question. How do we know oxygen is the product of photosynthesis? How? To find out, let's watch this video for a moment. Let's see the video and you can analyze it. Okay. Let's see the video.
Sound.com.
After you watch the video and practicum practice, what is the result of the experiment in the video? What is the result of the experiment in the video? And you can answer on your worksheet. That's any question in worksheet. What factor cause oxygen bubbles to appear? and then explain the process by which oxygen bubbles appear, and where does a glass containing NaHCO3 produce more bubbles. Okay, conclusion. From the material that I have taught, what lesson can you learn? Can you give me a conclusion about the material that I have taught today? Alright, I will give you an assignment for next week, and don't forget to do the assignment, and it will collected in the next meeting. Before we end our class, is there still something unclear? If not, our class will end here, and thank you for today. Don't forget to do your assignment in home, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.